Hi, everyone. Welcome to Curated by Becta's Big Night In. Thanks so much for ordering this and taking the flyer on us. We all need more celebration in our lives, so we thought we would do something really special that you can order anytime between now and middle of June. We're going to rotate this once a month, but if you don't like the curated menu that we have that week, you can order this, and it's going to be great. I am so excited by tonight's menu. It's all my favorite stuff. So I hope you guys love it as much as I know we are going to. Okay, so why don't I go ahead and get started? It's also a really super easy menu to make. The first thing you want to do is get some parchment paper, put it on a baking sheet, and you got the potato pave in there, and we're going to throw it in the oven for 15 minutes. But instead of setting a 15-minute timer at 425 degrees, you're going to set a 9-minute timer. Hey, Google, set an alarm for 9 minutes. There you go. Because at that point, we're going to add our asparagus, which is going to be tossed in some grapeseed oil, salt and pepper, but you can use canola oil, vegetable oil, and if you don't have any of those, you can use olive oil too. This is better because it is a higher smoking content, so or quotient. So you want to use an oil that is better for cooking than for just dressing, which olive oil is usually better for. All right, next up, we've got this big ass, amazing local grass-fed ribeye for two. Ribeye is, I'm going to say it for me, the greatest piece of beef that you can have, and this particular one is really incredible. And now it has been packed, and it's also been cooked sous vide to rare, so that you can take it to medium rare per our instructions. And beyond that, if you need, but really, hopefully medium rare is where you're going to end up because that is where the most flavor is. So put it on some paper towel once you take it out. The blood is not necessary. And then you want to do a generous amount of salt and pepper on each side. There we go. And by the way, I love using sea salt. It's got a greater texture to it, and it adds a better, cleaner flavor. I love getting the container from Farm Boy, by the way. It's like $8.99 for a big thing, where at Loblaws it's like, 15 bucks for the same size container from France. But the sea salt from Farm Boy, really good. So that is for the main course. I'm about to sear it in a second, but first I'm going to take the brioche and I'm going to throw this in for 8 minutes. So it'll time up nicely with the asparagus that's going to go in on my timer. It says 400. I put it to 425. I might pull the brioche out just a little bit early. So next up, let's get the pan smoking hot. Cast iron, if you don't have one of these, it is a beautiful thing. It's like 30 bucks to get one, and it is so worthwhile. So we're going to do a little bit of grapeseed oil in the pan. And then I'm going to work on the other two things we need to work on because they can be on low and just bubbling away in the background. So we've got the sauce Robert, which is a Demi Glaze. So we take an enormous amount of beef bones, marrow bones, and we make a delicious stock out of them with some beautiful veggies and add some brandy and some mustard. So we're going to put that on low and just warm it up. And the same thing with our creamed leeks. This is just like a classic French decadent dinner all around. The chef was very excited to be able to do this. So the cream leeks, let's make sure we're on low there, and we're just going to give it a stir every once in a while. Pan's getting hot. This pan's going to be for the mushrooms, which we're going to do right after the steak goes in. And then the appetizer, super easy. Foie gras torchon, one of my favorite things, certainly my son's favorite thing. We've got some haskap berries with some miso as a sauce. And then we also have some pistachio butter. And then we've got some candied lemon which is just going to top things off, and it's going to be served with a sliced brioche. Really delicious. With the foie gras, by the way, we're trying out because I want to see how this goes. Connor, our wine director, makes all our wine recommendations and picks the stuff based upon the menu. And I love this wine. It's a 2027 Brut Rosé. But he's pushing me outside my boundaries tonight, I got to be honest. Typically, foie gras is served with a rich dessert wine or something a little more off dry, and this is a drier style. I mean, it tastes like strawberry jam, first of all, or strawberry juice. It's just beautiful. But, oh yeah, don't forget to turn your hood fan on. But it's pretty dry, so I'm very curious to see how it pairs up with it. And if you're watching this video later, what are we, May 12th today? Then we may be switching the wine out. So keep that in mind, because apparently I'm the final arbiter of this kind of stuff. Okay, so while the steak is searing, we're going to do about 2 minutes on each side, and then we're going to throw some butter in there, which of course I forgot to take out. 2 tablespoons. Oh, look at this. I'm really badly prepared. So we need a stick and a knife. 2 tablespoons right there. Maybe this is a little more than 2 tablespoons. I like my steak with a generous amount of butter. But I leave it up to you guys. Hood fan is on. This guy working, that guy working. The brioche is in there. Yes, we're going to toss some grapeseed oil in with the asparagus. Salt and pepper. And give it a little stir. So important to note when you're doing the potato pave that went in the oven, leave lots of space on that baking sheet because you're going to add the asparagus 6 minutes later so that, 9 minutes later, so that it rolls for 6 minutes there. Okay, so our steak is looking like it's got some nice smoke. Beautiful sear. Love this. Our lardon is ready here, which is going to go in with the potatoes, the mushrooms, the Hasselback mushrooms. Yeah, I think it's time to take the foie gras out of the fridge. Super easy. So we've got this little paper here, and then there is a little bit of plastic sheeting. Make sure to take this off. So just like tape, sort of find the end. Or you can do the easy way and slice it if you can't find the end. This is how the chefs do the foie gras torchons. They wrap it very tightly in the cellophane. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Do something about that amazing steak that's searing in the background. I am working on it right now. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. And I know that we've got 2 tablespoons of butter, maybe a little bit more, that are going in there. Let's see. And then spoon butter over steak for 1 minute. And then we're going to put the steak in the oven for 5 minutes, which is probably about the same amount of time that the asparagus is going to be in there for. So when the butter melts down, you're literally just pushing the pan onto the side so it cools in the bottom and just bathe the steak. This is just really sexy stuff. I think we're going to put this on for Father's Day just because, I don't know. This is a very decadent sort of male type meal, but apologies that I'm generalizing based on gender here. But there's something about a big steak that is just so appealing to men, I think. But hopefully ladies as well. I know my wife is a big fan of the ribeye. Okay, so I basted it for a minute. Oh yeah. So the brioche has got to come out because it's nice and ready. And I'm going to get a trivet going on because this, when the brioche comes off, is also going to be my steak resting rack. Okay, that goes in there for 3 minutes. I'm going to have to just sort of keep my eye on it. Hey, Google, off. Okay, and that is my turn for the asparagus. So the potato pave coming out, asparagus going on the same sheet so that you can have less dishes to do. Now, the asparagus is going to change depending on when we send it. Sometimes it's going to be a little thicker, sometimes it's a little thinner. So if it's a little thinner, keep it on more the 5-6 minute mark, and if it's thicker, maybe do it on the 7-8 minute mark, depending. Because yeah, over the next month, asparagus is going to get a little, will change week to week. All right, back to our foie gras. See if I can find the end on this guy. Nope. We're going to do the same thing. So just cut it on the side. And the great thing about foie gras is that it's kind of like silly putty, where if you make a little nick in it, you can just sort of spread it out so that it looks beautiful. Make sure all the plastic is off. So it almost looked like it was. All right. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, so now we get creative. I'm going to move it up here so that you guys can see. So you're going to take half of your Haskap berries, put it down, and then you just sort of drag the spoon through it. Beautiful. And then the next one is our pistachio butter. A little bit harder to drag your spoon through, and I'm sure you guys will figure it out. Pistachio is such a gorgeous flavor. There are no bad ways to plate this because it's going to taste delicious. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to put the brioche on the plate and make it all nice. And I know what you're thinking. The steak's got to come out of the oven. Sure does. It's been 3 minutes. It is time. There's the rag. Make sure you don't burn yourself. That looks beautiful and delicious and caramelized. I'm going to spoon some more butter on this. I'm going to turn it upside down. Also spoon some butter on it. And now the brioche is going to come off nice and warm that we're going to slice up with the foie gras. And this guy is going to go right on there. Here's a little hack. So the butter is still warm. Keep the pan close by. My wife likes her steak done a little bit more well done than mine. I'm going to take some of the slices and put it in the pan maybe. We'll see how we roll. Okay, the mushrooms, we need to get on that. So actually I need to put this on a trivet because I need this pan hot with some oil for the mushrooms. So what we've done with these gorgeous king Erengis is that we've done these cross hatches. It's called Hasselback. So once the pan gets hot, I'm going to put all the cross hatches down, and that is just going to open the mushroom up, and it's going to be beautiful. So let's see what Rich says. Mushrooms, 3 minutes down. Turn them over. Add 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter per portion. So I need to get more of that. Because a big night in needs a little bit of butter. Okay, we've got it ready to go. Usually I get that prepared, and then the lardon, the homemade bacon, is in there too, which is glorious. Okay. So mushrooms, 3 minutes. Hopefully I can fit them all in the pan. There's a lot of mushrooms here. I think that's, maybe they sent me with too many. You might have a couple less mushrooms because there's a lot in there. Okay, it's on full, sauce is bubbling away. Let's give the cream leeks a little bit of a stir. Steak is resting for 5 minutes. It can rest for longer, and that's totally fine. It's really the asparagus and the potato pave that we want to pull out of the oven in just a couple minutes. Okay, so the brioche. This looks so incredible. Hey, Shannon, you want a piece of brioche? I'm going to give my son a little piece. There's probably way more than you need here. Let's see how we're going to plate this down. On the edging. We'll see which one of my dishes is a little more Instagram worthy. There's a lot of bread here. Maybe there's 2 slices. There's a lot of bread. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this one. So our foie gras torchon with the haskap and miso jam and the pistachio butter. Shannon, how's the brioche? Good? I got a thumbs up there. Okay, 3 minutes. We're going to turn this over. The mushrooms have had a nice little sear. Wow, they look so good. And this is the difference when you do really great fine dining, is that you get great elements like this. Textures, colors. Okay, so as soon as the butter melts, we're going to add the lardon in. That brioche is just going to be extra. I'm sure we'll have some for dinner. And then we can start working on dessert while we're rolling. Keep a cloth at the ready, because we might even do the same thing we did with the steak, where we baste this with butter. Because the kingaringis, they're amazing mushrooms. They actually really suck up the butter. And now the lardon go in, the house bacon. Obviously, if you don't eat pork, you can skip the lardon. Send them back to me because I'll eat them. I really enjoy them. Okay, and now this is going to go in for 5 minutes. Check on the asparagus and the pave. Still doing good. If the asparagus is browning, you want to take it out. If the pave is browning too much, but potatoes can pretty much cook for a long time. Okay, cream leeks are looking good. How's our steak? Oh, amazing. Okay, so let's plate up the dessert while that's happening. You want to keep it in the fridge and you want to be super delicate with it. This is such a gorgeous dessert. It is actually on our a la carte menu. There's so many components to this. Take it out very gently. So we have a chocolate and hazelnut tart with toasted hazelnut praline feuilletine, espresso and vanilla mascarpone, pink peppercorn, and sea salt. Now I'm going to take the topping off and just put it on the side so you can see all the beautiful stuff underneath. I had some raspberries here because I thought it would just need some garnish, but it's so beautiful on its own, you don't even need it. What a gorgeous dessert. And this is what fine dining is about. And I think we have really nailed it this week. I hope you guys agree that this is the kind of stuff that we're missing, that you can't get unless you're in a great restaurant. And I think we figured out how to do one that is beautiful at home for you. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the red wine. I can turn the hood fan off now. This was one of my favorite reds for the year that we did the curated by Back to Packages. So Heartland Shiraz from Langhorne Creek in Australia. It's so delicious. It has terroir, that sense of place with, as an Aussie Shiraz, it's big, it's rich, it's oaky, but it also has acidity to it. It has balance. It has minerality. It has dark chocolate qualities. And wow, is it going to be good with the beef. So I'm going to get ready to plate the beef. So let's bring this up. Okay, so here's the little hack that I'm going to do. Hopefully you guys can see this. We've got our tongs. Why not? Because it's a big night in. Take the beef, toss it around in the beef fat and the butter a little bit more. Turn the heat off on the sauce Robert because that's going to be ready to go. This is ready to go. I just don't want to slice the beef until we're ready to go because resting it allows the juices go back into the center of the meat. And that's what makes it so tender. Make sure that you season it after you slice it so that you can get the seasoning inside the steak as well. Let's see how Chef Rich wants to plate this. Pave on one side of the plate, cream leeks beside. So borrow our trivets, get that down, cancel the oven. This guy's ready to go. Wow. I think the pave, this might be a little big. We may ask the chef to make it a little bit smaller because that's a big hockey puck right there. And no one needs that much potatoes. And actually, the bottom just came off on that one. So maybe I'll eat that for lunch tomorrow. Okay, so pave down first. Then the cream leeks beside. Off so it doesn't beep. Split it out nicely. Cheesy, creamy, gorgeous leeks. Chef Rich, you have outdone yourself. Okay, so next up, asparagus on top of the leeks, sliced ribeye on top of the veggies. Ah, yes, asparagus. So divide the asparagus evenly. Gorgeous. Oh, forgot one. Don't forget the little guys. And now your steak. Very important that always with steaks, you cut against the grain. The ribeye is very unique, so it's got two components to it. The first is the decal. So you will see sort of a rounded piece, and that comes off separately. And again, you want to slice about 1 centimeter slices, and you want to do it against the grain. So the grain runs one way, slice the opposite way. And then here, when I used to work at 11 Madison Park in New York City, we would do these table side. So I got really good at slicing the ribeyes. The decal is my son's favorite, so I know I'm going to put more of this on his plate. This is a lot of meat. You will probably have some lunch tomorrow from this. And then what you can do on the end piece is turn it around so that you see it all and it is the right way. If there's some fat in there, it's okay because it's beautiful fat. You can choose to eat it or cut it off. I choose to eat it. Gorgeous. All right, now we season. Salt and pepper along. And this will also season the asparagus below a little bit because we did it to start, but you always nice to do some on the end. Okay. Now the mushrooms and the lardon are next. Oh man, this smells good. Don't burn your hands. Yeah, I think 3 half massive Kingarengis are probably going to be enough. Maybe alternate which the front is. Wow. But the lardon can never be enough. This country bacon is so good. So I'm going to get a little spoon. Pop that right up there. I can't believe there's more. We have the sauce Robert going on around. Wow, this looks good. So not difficult to cook, but a little bit longer on the finishing. And the sauce Robert going around the plate. Make sure to get some with your beef. Chef's like, I don't like pouring it on top. It looks better when it's around. Oh, there you go. So make sure you take your beef and you dip it in the sauce, because that is what makes a great steak, is the sauce. All right, folks, that is one big night in. So our seared Ontario grass-fed ribeye, done with the cream leeks, roasted asparagus, the potato pave, the sauce Robert, the Hasselback Kingarengi mushrooms, the lardon. I am so happy I'm doing this right now. I hope you do too. Thanks for ordering. Thanks for being with us. Have a great big night in, and I can't wait to have you back into the restaurant.